Alphino has a mind to send you to Vesper Bay. As we speak, the Domans prepare for departure at Vesper Bay, wherefrom they will be transported by carriage to Ulda. That said, this has all been decided rather suddenly, and it would not surprise me if refugees required some assistance in coordinating their preparations. Tolucc, I'd have you return to Vesper Bay and facilitate the process through tasks great and small. In short, whatever must needs be done, do it. Speak with a man named Hosen when you arrive. As Lady Ugiri tells it, he has been designated the leader of the first group. Greetings. Alphino informed me that a scion would be arriving to help with the preparations. I'm honored to meet you, though ashamed as well. A great warrior should not be tasked with such trivialities. Aye, I knew from a glance what manner of woman you were. I too have some skill at arms, as do many of our people. Pray forgive this trifle, but might I trouble you to help round up the children that have been given into my care? They are most adept at staying hidden from my sight, but perhaps your keen eyes will succeed where I have failed. You have my thanks, friend. Pray, seek out my son Yozen. He can tell you more. Oh, hello there. I'm Yozen, son of Ozen. Will you be coming with us to Ulda? I hear we're traveling by horsebird-drawn carriage. But don't you think they're queer? Giant birds that people ride like horses? I still want to try riding one, but... What's that? You're looking for the others. Don't worry. I already told them to get ready for the carriages. I'll need your help though. We were just finishing a game of hide and seek. 3 players are still in hiding, and since Lady Ugiri told us to take it really seriously, they won't be moving until they're found. But Vesper Bay isn't that big, so I bet you can find them in no time. Hey, you're not Yozen. Who are you? I'm Koharu. Tolucc Goro, eh? I didn't know anyone else was... Wait a minute. You're one of those, stallions, aren't you? No, scions. Then you must know Lady Ugiri, right? Isn't she great? She's really good at hide and seek, too. Oh, right. It's almost time to go. Nice meeting you, Tolucc Goro. How'd you find me? Guess I need to practice more. Or maybe you're just good at this. I mean, the Garlanes didn't find me. Are you playing? No fair. Yozen didn't say anything about adults. Huh. If we get to ride a horsebird carriage, I don't know, it sounds scary. But if Yozen says it's safe, I'll go. Wonderful. All the children are accounted for. Hide and seek? I see that you are curious. It's quite simple, really. Lady Ugiri thought it best that children know what to do in case the Garlanes found us. I should hope that those days are behind us, but I nevertheless take comfort in knowing that we are prepared. At last, Yozen and his group are ready to leave Vesper Bay. The first caravan is due to depart shortly, followed by the rest at regular intervals. My family and I, including my stubborn old father Homie, will be traveling in the lead carriage together with young Koharu. I believe you've already met. Though I understand the road to Ulda is regularly patrolled by your blast braids, it would give us great comfort if you would agree to accompany us on our journey. Once again, I thank you for your kindness. When you're ready to leave, please inform our coachman. Eager to be off, are you? Aye. Well, I was meaning to have a word with you about that. Runner from the Blade says we might have a problem. A fierce-looking beastie's been sighted south of the bridge to Hammerley. Might be as someone's eyes are playing tricks on him, of course, but I don't pay to gamble in this business. Now, I know you can handle yourself in a fight, but this lot here's another story. So I was thinking you might go on ahead and have a look around. Make sure the area's safe, like. And if you come across anything dangerous, you know what to do. When you're satisfied the way's clear, meet us outside Horizon. The Blades tell me the road's safe there. So I reckon we can make it that far on our own, assuming the self-same blasters don't try to rob us, that is. So there was a beastie. Was being the operative word, eh? Ha ha. Well fought, madam, well fought. If only I were in better health. I should have been proud to stand at your side. Pay my son no mind. He forgets that his responsibilities preludes the acts of the daring do. Be that as it may, I cannot help but envy you. Had we been able to call upon heroes of your strength and skill in Doma, things would have been very different. But we cannot change the past. Those who fought and fell are forever lost to us. Lost but not forgotten. Lady Ugiri's kinsmen least of all. They fought fiercest, though they knew full well it was in vain. She had every right to walk away, yet she chose to stay. Food, shelter, the promise of a better life, all this and more we owe to her. How does one even begin to repay such a debt? In kind, Father. To she who has given everything we shall give our all. Whatever work there is to be done, we shall do without question. Ditch digging, bricklaying, it matters not. Revan's toll will grow and prosper by our hands. Hey, Miss Tolucc, Koharu and I want to know why you became an adventurer. To go whither the wild rose blooms. So, you like roses? I think I understand. I mean, they're nice and everything, but don't they grow in lots of places? It's my turn now. Excuse me, Miss Tolucc. I've got a question. What's Revenant Toll like? Is it pretty? It's home to the signs of the Seventh Dawn. Oh, so you live there with your friends? That means you'll always be there to protect us? Enough, Koharu. It's my turn again. Miss Tolucc, when I'm older, I want to be strong like you. What do I have to do? Train every day. Aha, so my father was right. How do you do it then? Come on, tell me. And don't leave anything out. All right. That's enough questions for Miss Tolucc. That's not fair. Why does Yozan get to ask 2 questions? I want to know about adventuring just as much as he does. Just one more, please. Do you think I could be an adventurer like you one day? Really? Then I will. Thanks for the advice, Miss Tolucc. I won't forget it. I'm going to be an adventurer too. When we get to Revenant's Toll, let's make an adventurer's guild for Domans. We'll protect our friends and punish the wicked, just like Miss Tolucc and Lady Ugiri. Yeah, just like Miss Tolucc and Lady Ugiri. We can talk more about it in the carriage on the way. Will you be joining us? Ah, Tolucc, I take it the first group has arrived? Excellent. Is there aught else? No, I have matters well in hand here. You and Lady Ugiri should travel to Revenant's Toll forthwith. Alphino would have you and Ugiri depart for Revenant's Toll without delay. It's past time Lady Ugiri met with the guild representatives in Revenant's Toll. Since I do not foresee any further matters arising here in Thanalan which might require your personal attention, I would instead have you serve as an escort to the Doman delegation for the duration of the journey. Speak first with Slafborn upon your arrival. He is the one with whom the Domans will be working with most closely, I would think. Afterwards, introduce Lady Ugiri to Minfilia and the guild emissary. If both meetings go well, the resulting tie should stand the Domans in good stead. For that which is to come, safe travels, Tolucc. And this must be the esteemed Lady Ugiri and her associates. I greet you all as friends and bid you welcome to the toll. I hope you do not find our dearth of fineries off-putting. Poor though we may seem, we have a wealth of spirit and camaraderie to spare. You see, race and creed don't enter into here. We welcome all sorts, provided they're willing to earn their keep, of course. We are no strangers to hard work, Master Slafborn. You may rest assured that we will carry out your orders with due diligence. Oh, not for a moment did I doubt your commitment, my lady. Pray understand, I give the same speech to all new arrivals, and you needn't bow your head or call me master either. We are both frontier hands as far as I'm concerned. As you wish, Slafborn. May this meeting mark the beginning of a long and fruitful relationship. Our guests have yet to meet the antecedent. 7 hells, Tolucc. Why are you wasting your time with me? See them to the Rising Stones. To whom much is given, much is expected. Forgive me, I require a moment to compose my thoughts before meeting with your leader. We shall join you at the Rising Stones as soon. "'Tis no use. Our attempts to reach the students of Baldesion continue to be met with failure. Ranger has explored other avenues of inquiry, but they too have yielded naught. We will persevere, of course, yet within our hearts the truth is clear. We are but awaiting confirmation of which we already know. How fare the Domans? I'm given to understand you were kept quite busy in the Vesper Bay. Mayhap you question the wisdom of aiding refugees when the primal threat remains unresolved? I should not blame you if you did, nor would I deny that this matter falls outside our normal purview. Be that as it may, I could not ignore the plight of these refugees, not when it was within our power to help them. Lady Ugiri is here? Please show her in. I should very much like to meet her. We have no objections. Pray, do so with our blessing. Your answer pleases me beyond words, my lady, but are you quite certain? We have no way of knowing how many might answer my summons. In the event that Revenant's toll could not accommodate us all, we would need to find an alternative solution. Should that come to pass, we will find it together. As ever, it has been a pleasure, Antecedent. Alas, we must take our leave, as the first carriages are due to arrive at any moment. Should you require aught else, pray speak with Slaffborn, Lady Ugiri, Tolucc. Lamin and I will make the necessary preparations to ensure that our Doman friends feel at home upon their arrival. Though I must admit that I am still troubled about the matter of the missing crystals. Y'shtola should be returning in on with a report from a field. Mayhap you could wait here and speak with her upon her arrival?
How goes the fishing? Caught anything slippery?
Aye. Our suspicions were well founded. The Serpent Reavers are indeed the culprits.
The plot thickens.
Has there been any movement in Thanalan?
It has been blessedly quiet. Which is to say the Amalja are being no more or less of a nuisance than usual, summoning Ifrit with such crystals as they have hoarded. Urianger, too, reports not out of the ordinary.
Then we have our explanation.
Your explanation for what, pray tell?
For the recent spate of crystal thefts in Thanalan, we naturally assumed that the trail would lead us back to the Amalja. Yet it did not. It led us across the sea unto Vilbrand.
Vilbrand? There have been reports of increased Sahagin activity of late. Oh gods, they mean to summon Leviathan?
That is the way of it, I fear. Whilst conducting our investigation on behalf of the mineral concern, we came upon evidence implicating the Serpent Reavers. With the aid of the Maelstrom, I was able to verify our suspicions. 'Tis only a matter of time before Leviathan returns to harrow the seas. But there is more. One of the Sahagin, an elder by my judgment, spoke of attaining the gift and knowledge of eternity.
Ugh.
Such a disturbance in the ether. If I did not know better, I should think this device defective. And there is the explanation.
Soon it shall begin. Our Lord shall rise midst surging waves to wash away the finless ones. And I shall be granted the gift and knowledge of eternity, and with the emissary stand equal. Then shall I know no cessation, no oblivion.
Whence comes this promise of immortality? The emissary? We have outstayed our welcome.
The gift and knowledge.
Are the two of you quite well?
You shared that vision, did you not? Even before the Sahagin made mention of the emissary, I recognized Elidibus's words. He is behind this. But surely it is not within his power to grant the echo.
My lady, unless we act swiftly, Leviathan will rise again. The Admiral has already requested that we intervene to prevent this. Failing that, we are to attend to the Primal's extermination.
She will have our full cooperation. Let us make haste to Limsa Lominsa. I mean to play a part in this mission. Tataru, pray, take charge in my absence.
My lady, are you sure this is wise?
I am aware of the risks, but there is something I must see with mine own eyes. The true nature of the echo.
Very well. I shall not stand in your way. On the condition that you permit me to accompany you as bodyguard.
Your company is ever welcome, Thancred.
I take it something ill is afoot.
Aye, a Primal is about to be loosed upon Eorzea.
A primal?
A godlike being whose very existence is a bane upon the land. We scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to put an end to their kind.
I see. Know then that I am learned in the arts of war. In return for the kindness you have shown my people, I would lend you my blade.
It would be most welcome. When contending with a Primal, one can never have too many able allies. If you crave a more intimate understanding of the problems facing Eorzea, this experience is like to provide it. Be sure to come well prepared.
Minfilia wishes to share some final words on the coming mission prior to departing for Limsa Lominsa. Plainly, should the worst come to pass that Leviathan is summoned, our only recourse will be to face him in battle. Given past experience, you may very well think that eventuality inevitable. Yet so long as there is even a chance that the Primal's return might be prevented, we must needs bend all our efforts towards achieving that goal. Before we do aught else, let us hasten to Limsa Lominsa and meet with the Admiral. She will not have been idle in the intervening time, and will doubtless have valuable information to share. You are expected. Pray, take this lift to the command room. Welcome, friends. I take it Y'shtola has apprised you of the situation? Let us waste no time, then. According to our best intelligence, the Sahagin had not crystals enough to summon their god. Alas, we did not count on the Serpent Reavers venturing as far as Thanalan to supplement their cache. For our short-sightedness, we are faced with the grim prospect of Leviathan's imminent return. Needless to say, I'm not inclined to let the fishbacks have their way, Even as we speak, the Maelstrom makes ready to launch a large-scale operation to thwart the summoning, and we would welcome the Scion's support in this endeavor. But if, God forbid, our efforts should come to naught, I will need to trouble you for more than mere support, much as I did when Titan last walked these lands. Lady Minfilia, I am given to understand that you mean to accompany our soldiers to the front lines? I can only assume that you have sound reasons for doing so. I do, Admiral, but I would rather not be drawn on their nature. I will say only that there is something I would see with my own eyes. Is that so? Well, I'm not so stubborn as to deny the wish of one whose aid I require, but precautions must be taken. I shall require that you remain by my side at all times. With that settled, let us speak of the operation. Tolucc, Maelstrom scouts are currently reconnoitering Zahagan movements within the Saspa spawning grounds. Upon completing their mission, they will return to the operations staging point at Camp Skull Valley. I want you to make your way there forthwith, that you might be appraised of the latest intelligence. Commander Falcabrita has charge of the garrison. I've been expecting you, Scion of the Seventh Dawn. On behalf of the men and women here, I thank you for your cooperation. The safety of our citizens is paramount. With your aid, we will prevent Leviathan's return. Falcabrita is growing ever more agitated by the minute. As you may already know, Maelstrom scouts have been dispatched to reconnoiter the Saspa spawning grounds. Though it pains me to admit it, the Maelstrom has never faced a foe like this before. We must proceed with all due caution. Among other things, they have orders to determine where Leviathan might emerge, assuming it comes to that, and yet their return is long overdue. I fear that ill may have befallen them. For better or worse, we must ascertain their fate. If it is not too much to ask, I would have you aid us in the search. 5 scouts ventured into Saspa all told. Here, take this flask of restorative to tend to those who may have been wounded. Though it pains me to even consider the notion, if they have perished, circumstances permitting, I ask that you recover their bodies. By no means venture too deep in enemy territory, however. We can ill afford to lose you at this juncture. Help, somebody, of all the times to forget the restorative. Thank you. I owe you my life. We were ambushed by the Serpent Reavers. Lightly armed as we were, we didn't stand a chance. I was able to flee this far, but the others were captured. They were taken to the Serpent's tongue, I'm certain of it. I can make my own way back to camp, but I fear the worst for my comrades. Save them, I beg of you. You returned. Thank the Navigator. When I learned that you went to the Serpent's Tongue by yourself, I feared that you would meet an untimely demise. But tell me, what became of the others? Dear gods. Oh, these wounds were not intended to kill, but to torture and maim. Does their savagery know no bounds? Enemies or no, they go too far. I dread to think what may have become of the two who remain unaccounted for. I pray that they haven't suffered the same evil fate. At the very least, one of my men came back alive, and for now I owe you that. The price we paid was dear, but we have the intelligence we need. Even as we speak, the Admiral finalizes the details of the operation. The war warns will sound any moment now. Be ready to sally forth in what they do. Falkbrida awaits the commencement of the operation with barely concealed rage. Thrice damned fishback bastards! I'll kill them slowly and then chase their rotten souls through all 7 hells. Peace, Commander. We are here for a purpose, and vengeance is not it. I'm watching your mind on the task at hand, savvy? My apologies, Admiral. You may count on me to keep a clear head. Good. According to our sole surviving scout, the Sahagin and their thralls have already begun to amass the Aetheryte in the depths of Saspa. If we are here to act, it must be now. The men are ready, but we await your orders, Admiral. As predicted, the Sahagin have tightened security in and around the spawning grounds. A frontal assault is like to be met with fierce resistance. But we are not so artless as that, Commander. We shall divide our forces and strike them hard and fast at key locations. Remember, our ultimate objective here is to take the Saspa Aetheryte and eliminate the Sahagin priest presiding over the summoning. We are not here to kill them all. The Maelstrom shall engage and distract the Sahagin's legion of drowned pirates at the Serpent's Tongue. Commander, you have charge over this effort. Be mindful that the lay of the land there is devilish for attacking forces. Let the foreign levy spearhead the assault and have the subsequent units fan out to cover their flanks. At the self-same moment, a diversionary squadron formed of galleons from the Crimson Fleet shall harry the enemy from offshore. And likewise, we Scions shall form smaller units in hopes of confusing the Sahagin defense effort. Tolucc and Y'shtola, the two of you are to make your way to the site of the summoning ritual. The Admiral's diversion should serve to thin the enemy's defenses, rendering your path less perilous. A small party, I believe, should be able to win through without drawing unwarranted attention. Thancred and Ugiri, your mission is to lure as many Sahagin as possible out of the spawning grounds. Having done so, take your heels and circle round to join the infiltration unit of Y'shtola and Tolucc. When all has been set in motion, I myself shall cut a path to the Aetheryte, accompanied by Lady Midphilia, as we agreed. Well, don't keep you friends to battle! When last did we fight side by side, Tolucc? Too long ago, I warned. But come, let us away. Pray, do not concern yourself. 'Twas but a glancing blow. Come, the Aetherite is close at hand. Let us press on.
Damn them. They have made thralls of soldiers and civilians both.
Did I miss much? So that is how you fight in the Far East. Mental note, pick no quarrel with Domans. But seriously, if I am to keep up, I must needs forsake elegance for efficiency. To the Aetherite!
You'll forgive me my lateness.
I've been something of a liability of late, I know. 'Tis high time I set about making amends.
Long have you shriveled swordwalkers, tormented our kind. But no more! Your time is at an end! You shall perish with salt in your wounds and sea in your lungs. Lord of the world, hearken to our plea. Lord of the world, deliver us from our misery.
Do you feel that?
I know this sensation. It's the echo.
What? Such power! It is transcendent! Strike me down if you will. It is futile. I have mastered the gift. I am eternal. Oh, mighty Leviathan, ruler of the seas, born of waters primordial, I offer unto you this frail flesh, that you might grant your faithful servants deliverance. I beseech you, come forth!
Die, damn you!
Foolish shorewalker! You cannot kill that which is eternal!
Heavens forfend.
Damn it all!
My being ebbs away. But it should by right be infinite. Am I not immortal? Curse you, emissary! You promised me everlasting.
Where did he go?
What say you? Nary a single ship? Hells take that sea demon! Gather the survivors and get to shore. Leave the wrecks for the pirates. Leviathan wastes no time. The diversionary squadron is lost. For a mercy, 'twould seem the Primal now makes for open sea. But why does he not press his advantage? Unless... God save us. He means to unleash a tidal wave.
Understand, I speak of no normal wall of water. That which Leviathan makes ready to conjure carries more destructive power than aught seen in nature. Enough to raise entire coastal settlements if his last attempt is any guide. We cannot suffer history to be repeated. Yet how in the seven hells are we to prevent it? Merwolb is brooding over Leviathan's return. Though our plight cries out for action, we must take thought. So long as Leviathan remains in the open sea, he is effectively beyond our reach. Our fleet is second to none, of that you may be sure. But Lemelian herself would struggle to hold best the whole lord of the world in his element. In a straight fight, he would make a meet and matchwood of us. We need another plan, that much is plain. Let us return to Limsa and see if we cannot think of one. I shall await you in the command room. You are expected in the command room. Pray, do not keep the Admiral waiting.
There used to be a hamlet beyond South Tidegate in western Lanosha. Halfstone, 'twas called. Some years prior to the Maelstrom's founding, Leviathan rose from the briny depths and set about unleashing watery hell upon us. On that occasion, the Company of Heroes put him down before he could do too much damage. But when the bastard came next, this time in the wake of the calamity, we were not so fortunate. Weary of ravaging our shoreline, he summoned a tidal wave which fair leveled Hearthstone and washed the soil away for good measure.
The area was subsequently occupied by the Sahagin.
Aye, the thrice-damned creatures transformed it into a spawning ground for their brood. Given the quantity of crystal stolen to feed him and his legion of thralls, we can be fairly sure that Leviathan is stronger now than in his previous incarnations. If that sea demon is left to wreak havoc, what befell Hearthstone may well befall a larger settlement, even Limsa. That cannot happen. The Primal must be stopped.
That was ever our objective, Admiral. But how are we to achieve it? The sea is Leviathan's uncontested domain. The ships of the 3rd Squadron could not close to within 100 yards of the Primal, nor could their cannons pierce his defenses.
I have read the reports, Master Thancred. Our warships may as well have been bloody pleasure barges for all the good they did. 7 hells! Is there no way that we might strike back?
The Company of Heroes defeated Leviathan, having first lured him into an inlet, but we must needs contend with him upon the open sea. It will avail us little to consult past experience.
Admiral, if I may.
Speak freely, Marshal.
By all accounts, Leviathan's most formidable weapon is the very sea itself. Waves and whirlpools, tides and currents, all these things are his to command. The key to victory, I believe, lies in disarming our foe. This, in effect, is what the Company of Heroes achieved with their ruse. We cannot lure Leviathan from the sea a second time. But what if we could weaken his hold upon the element of water? I have heard of devices capable of such wonders. They draw upon the power of corrupted crystals, I am told. If mounted upon a ship, such a device might be used to prevent Leviathan from bringing the full force of the sea to bear against us, rendering him no more dangerous than any other sea serpent.
Of course! Sid built a similar device to grant the Enterprise safe passage through Garuda's Tempest, did he not?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but to give credit where it's due, this is something I heard from an old arcanist friend of mine.
It makes little difference who thought of it first, so long as it works. Beg the specifications of this device from your friend, and I shall pass them on to our people at Naldic and Vermelis. But before we proceed any further, I would voice one concern. Piercing Garuda's defenses is one thing. Suppressing Leviathan's attacks, quite another. In matters of science, I am as a babbling babe, but I cannot well imagine that such a feat would be possible without a veritable mountain of corrupted crystals. The question being, do we have a ship big enough to bear such a burden?
Mayhap not, Admiral, but two might. Recall you the tale of Mistbeard's greatest haul? It is said that he lashed 2 ships together, side by side, the better to bear his plunder. By your leave, we might attempt to repeat the trick. The gods know it would be quicker than building a new vessel.
Mistbeard did this. Truly, Marshal, upon the subject of the Pirate King, you are as a scholar.
Now, from what I have gleaned of these matters, the device will need to be in close and constant proximity to the target. To wit, we must lash our twin vessel to Leviathan. This in itself will be no small feat. Ramming speed will be required, but given the weight of the cargo, that will only be attainable with the aid of a towing vessel. Suffice it to say, the task of piloting said vessel will entail considerable danger, and I would not ask it of another. I volunteer myself.
Twill be dangerous for all involved, but we have no better recourse. Very well. Commodore, assemble the remnants of the fleet at Morabee Bay. Give priority to our soundest vessels. The repairs can wait. Storm Marshal Slafirson, command of the operation is yours. I want that twin vessel ready to sail post-haste.
At once, Admiral.
And then there is the small matter of slaying the beast. The fate of Limsa Lominsa rests upon your shoulders once again. Go well, warrior of light.
Beings held as gods also exist in what you call the Far East. Legends tell us that they've walked among us in days of yore, but I confess that I never truly believed them. That I should live to behold one is humbling and horrifying in equal measure. Now that I have come face to face with the Primal, I do begin to understand why the Arlanes fear them so. What is it? A message, Admiral. I judged it best that it be delivered at once. I'm listening. According to the Yellow Jackets, a man has appeared who claims to have defeated Leviathan. One of the company of heroes? The details are yet hazy, Admiral. We had dispatched one of our own to question the individual. I am disinclined to put any store by this claim, and even should it be true, it is as Y'shtola said. None save the company of heroes have bested Leviathan, and we know how they went about it. If this man is of their number, what could he tell us that we do not already know? And yet, having wagered Limsa's survival on 2 ships, some rope, and a pile of crystals, we can afford to ignore this man? If his testimony could yield us any manner of advantage, should we not hear it? Damn it all. The twin vessel will soon be ready. We have no time to wait for Maelstrom's report on his supposed primal slayer claims. Tolucc, seek him out and learn what he knows. At the very least, it'll spare you the torment of waiting for the reckoning in idleness. The man you are looking for is believed to be a resident of the Grey Fleet in Lower Lenosha. The Storm private sent to question him should already be in the vicinity. May your journey prove fruitful. Now look here, you. You'll have your bloody story right after you carry those sacks of grain over to the mill. But sir, that's what you said before you had me pick those oranges for you, and I about muckered out all the chocobo stables, and before I rolled that millstone over to the mill, and also before... Gods, man, I've worked 3 days straight without a wink of sleep. 3 days! And do you hear me complaining? I suppose some of you just ain't made for the rougher stuff. Alright, I'll give you what you want. Never let it be said that old Tractum ain't a generous soul. Now prick up your ears, cause I won't be repeating myself. Too modest, see? Besides, there's only so much epicness a man can take in one sitting, you ken? The tale of Tractum's epic victory over the dread primal Leviabetus. Now, Leviabetus is huge, make no mistake. To give you an idea how big, each of his scales is about as wide across as a member of Long's, and that's no man's feat, let me tell ya. When I fought him, I could barely see feller all the brine he was pelting me with. Must have been a lagoon's worth at least. He even knocked me trusty axe out of my hands at one stage. Of course, that proved to be a grave mistake. What happened next? Why, I grabbed him by the tail and tied him up in knots. But he's not one to take all the glory for himself. I let my mates in the company of heroes handle the rest. Like I said, I'm modest as well as heroic. Mayhap too modest. Now, there's something you can say that never truly beat Leviabetus, that you've got to learn to live with him and make the best of a bad situation. Not the company, though. It's you! I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was just enjoying the attention is all. I take it back everything I said. I was never part of the company of heroes. I'm no marauder. I'm actually a complete coward. I'm nothing. I'm chocobo dung. I'm in the maggots you find wriggling in the chocobo dung. I have to lie to women to tumble them, and I don't want... They don't happen much. My member's tiny. It's pathetic. I sure as hell didn't fight Leviabetus, but I seen him with me own eyes. 'Twas a few years back, when I was working as a baker's hand. I was shirking me duties one day, loitering about the harbor, when I saw it. A great big massive sea serpent some moms off the coast, with a fleet of galleons making straight for it. Cannons firing. I was so bloody scared I soiled myself right then and there. What? Oh God, just remembering that day made me soil myself all over. Hey, wait, if you're here asking about Leviabetus, it means you're planning to fight him, ain't you? Well, take care. He really is terrible. Dreadful, I tell you. If you're not careful, you'll end up with his gullet or at the bottom of the sea. Why, you worthless lying horson. I can't believe you made me handle chocobo dung. Tolucc, this is Menphilia. Were you able to learn aught of use against Leviathan? I beg your pardon? Leviabetus? I see. That is unfortunate. At any rate, I have tidings for you. The twin vessel is now complete. We await you at Moraby dry docks. Pray, make your way here as soon as you are able to. I'm told your jaunt to Grey Fleet proved fruitless. My sympathies, lass. I'll wager it served to take your mind off the events of recent days, though. But enough of that nonsense. The moment of truth is upon us. The twin vessel, the Horror Leader, I call her, is complete, and she surpasses all my expectations. In addition to her prodigious tonnage, she has been fitted with a platform, and you and yours might maneuver freely in battle. I would also mention that she is nigh unsinkable, but I'm not one to tempt fate. The Horror Leader and her crew stand ready, my friend. Just give the word and we shall bear you to the Leviathan. Einzar stands ready to send you off to your encounter with the Lord of the Whirl. I know that look. You are ready. Having been constructed in some haste, the Whirl Leader may not be pretty, but I assure you she's capable. She's been fitted with what our friends at Naldic and Vimeles are calling an elemental converter. Assuming the thing works, it'll use the power of the corrupted crystals on board to rob Leviathan of his hold over water. Depending on how the battle unfolds, you may well need to activate the device manually. Keep that in mind. It is expected that the Sahagin and their thralls will attempt to come to Leviathan's defense. Accordingly, the Maelstrom will once again employ diversions. Thancred and Ishtola, I would have you assist in this effort. If it is to fulfill its purposes, your diversionary force must not want for numbers. By your leave, I too would volunteer my blade. We would welcome it. Having seen you fight in Sapsa, I dare say the fishbacks will find your presence highly diverting. Think Redeni Stola, if you would join the Third Levy and Lady Ugiri V. But what words have I for the woman who has made sport of slaying gods? Only these. Go warily, for the sea is an unforgiving place to wage war. May the navigator guide you through the storm, warrior of light. I would echo the Admiral's sentiments, and add a few words of mine own. Know that we all have the utmost faith in you, Tolucc. May the crystal bless and keep you. Knowing the urgency of your business, I thought it best to refrain from making conversation during the past few visits, but today I will permit myself a few words. I feel truly privileged to have had the honor of admitting a hero such as you. You are an inspiration to us all, madam. And on that note, the Admiral awaits you in the command room. Wink.
We Lominsons are sworn to strive, till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have, had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa Lominsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally. On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks. 'Tis meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
Before I set foot in these lands, I had no inkling that the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man. Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
Naught escapes your searching eye, Admiral. Few are privy to this information, but Limsa Lominsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own. By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own, though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Though you may labor to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
Yestola! You jest, of course.
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa Lominsa, or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Uldar, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
Minfilia, please!
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Moderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment, but if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
You wished a word in private.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds stood before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, but how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
I have not forgotten our conversation, Y'ashtola. I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagin's reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
I'll not deny your reasoning. But when a storm gathers, it falls to me to see my people safely through it. That is my duty, and I shall do it.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course then, but know that it will lead to no good end.
Man has ever put himself first and foremost. To justify his actions, he clads himself in the armor of righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Eorzea has become as a raging sea. If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
Xanthale has orders to point you in the direction of the Leminson underworld. The Admiral has informed me of the arrangement. I have in my keeping a letter of introduction for Lady Yugiri. To the south stands a gate leading to the pier for small fishing vessels. Look for an inconspicuous Hyrian man there and present the letter to him. He serves as a gatekeeper of sorts. Now, before you go, I'm obliged to remind you that the members of fraternity to which you would be introduced abide in the shadows of Leminson society. They value their independence more highly than pirates, and are united by a bond stronger than mithril. To wit, they are invariably wary of new faces. Though it may be penned by the Admiral herself, mere words on parchment will get you only so far in their confidence. You must work for every ounce of trust they place in you. But here's a letter. Go to the aforementioned place and show it to the aforementioned man. Oh, and good luck. Got business with me, Venture? So you're the woman the Admiral sent word of. I was hoping I might catch a glimpse of Thancred too. Been a while since I saw his shite-eating grin. But with all that doe-eyed wenches about, I expect he's got his hands full. Ah, and you must be the far easterner what Merlweb says wants to train with us. Welcome to Limsel, milady. I'm Ugiri of Doma. 'Tis an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when I first learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. It would seem I was mistaken. You're not the first person to say that, lass. Limsel's a city of pirates, to be sure, and pirates don't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do their dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to the purpose. See. Know that the practitioners of my art too are denizens of shadow. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. And what in the seven hells are we waiting for? If you'd come with us, Ugiri, or do what's it, we can get acquainted in more private surrounds. Ha! That didn't come out right, did it? Lady Tolucc, I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I am loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us Domans. No words suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea, and when that time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. Ugiri has the air of a woman bursting with gratitude. Much and more has occurred since I first beheld Eorzea from the Galleon's deck. Suffice it to say I did not envisage being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I have kept you over long. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, pray, relay to her my humblest thanks, with that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, Warrior of Light.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibeth spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale, yet recent events have given me cause to wonder. Could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 Preserve.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
It is done, my lord. I... Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Minfilia's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldessian. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such a time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on what is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations which have had previously attributed to good King Mogulmog XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelveswood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asila? I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ulda, this time are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asila, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Tolucc, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Menphilia, and I lead the Signs of the Seven Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray, calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know aught of your situation. Beg your pardon, Antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off scraps of Ulda for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what we took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run, the only question was where. And then it came to me, Revenant stole. I mean, you took in them foreigners, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity, and so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru? Is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ulda, my lady. Alphino, Alphino has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady, we're not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding the riot, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphino, and quickly. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray, do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papa Limo will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Tolucc.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ulda, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ulda is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Uldan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Uldan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.